We begin with one of those big issues of this week, as it's been for many, many weeks and years, and that is the drought. Today, another announcement from the government, more money to help those farmers who are battling the drought. In fact, those who've used up their full 4-year allotment of farm household allowance. Struggling farmers will get, at that point, a one-off lump sum cash payment of up to $13,000 for a family, $7,500 for an individual. The government, though, argues they really should use that money and that opportunity to think long and hard, as if they haven't already, about whether they can make their farms sustainable and dramatically more efficient, or whether they need to sell, whether they need to leave the land. The announcement was overshadowed, though, after a feud erupted within the coalition, some nationals taking aim at the Prime Minister, calling him arrogant over the way this was announced.
Under pressure to do more, the Prime Minister wants to show he's listening to farmers.
To help people right now with real money.
Announcing a one-off payment of up to $13,000 for those who have hit the 4-year cap of the farm household allowance.
Putting real money in the hands of real farming families.
Having defended his drought response to Alan Jones in a fiery 2GB interview earlier this week, Scott Morrison broke the news on Radio 2SM.
That's new news today on the John Laws program.
The announcement coming at the same time his Nationals colleagues lined up in Parliament.
We said 9:30.
Clearly catching some off guard. Nationals privately venting their frustration at the coalition clash. One MP told Sky News, "They're shitting on us. Is the PM going to go on TV when Dutton is? We look dopey standing around at a Class B presser because Class A is up at the same time." Another MP branded the PM as arrogant and warned several colleagues representing drought-hit electorates are on the edge of losing it. Publicly, though, division was downplayed.
I don't care if Bozo the Clown's lining up at the Z-Class press conference as long as he's bringing a cheque for the people that I represent.
The PM received a show of solidarity, walking into question time side by side with his drought minister. Friendly fire from the Nationals, but the PM is also under fire from the opposition, who want the farm household allowance extended beyond 4 years.
It is a callous act. In fact, the greatest act of bastardry by any government in the history of the Federation.
Joel Fitzgibbon says the new lump sum should be bigger.
How much is too much investment in our food security?
Adding that Mr Morrison's clash with Alan Jones at least amounted to some extra cash.
PM, how does that feed a cow? PM, how does that feed a cow?
I'd like to answer you.
How does it feed a cow, PM?
And I no doubt that gave him the political fright of his life. I think it might have made him realise that he's got to stop being loose with the truth.
Trudy McIntosh, Sky News, Canberra.
Well, Labor, as you might have noticed this week's been arguing the government lacks a drought strategy. We spoke to the National Farmers Federation President Fiona Simpson last hour on the program. She, well, has yesterday given the government the National Farmers Federation's drought policy. Says when it comes to the government, she doesn't actually see a drought strategy from them right now, although notes that no government in recent years has actually had a drought strategy either. Nonetheless, she has welcomed the announcement today of this additional lump sum payment for those who have used up 4 years of farm household allowance, and she doesn't agree with Joel Fitzgibbon that it should be continued to be paid in perpetuity while ever a farm is technically in drought. She agrees with the government on this, that there does need to be a limit.
I think you want to make sure that people have got time to make decisions and time to make choices. But I also think there needs to be, just as in any business, there is a time where people have to make some hard decisions.
So you can't just pay it in perpetuity, even if they're in drought?
I don't know that you can pay it in perpetuity because we're talking about taxpayers' money. We don't do it for anybody else. Are farmers special? I'm not sure about that, and I'm not sure that the taxpayers think they are.
So pressure there from the NFF as well for families who've hit that point to consider selling up. She argues, Fiona Simpson, that there will generally be willing buyers. They may completely change the way the farm runs, but it's really important for farming families battling through this drought to give that serious consideration at that point if they can't sustain things after 4 years of receiving federal assistance.